In this video, I'm gonna tell you how to configure Profinet Slave station in Fanuc ROBOT. That means Profinet I/O device in Fanuc ROBOT, not master. So we focus as slave station for Fanuc ROBOT. It's commonly used with PLC project. I will also introduce Fanuc ROBOT as Profinet Master Station later in Fanuc training course. Let's begin this video's topic. So first, you click Menu. Remember, this is the virtual teach pendant, so sometimes may have a little bit problems. So first, you click Menu. You click Setup. So let's assume you already installed the Profinet option function both for software and hardware. If you don't buy it from Fanuc official, you can go back to my previous video to tell you how to install privately, how to install by yourself. So first, you choose the menu, you choose the setup, you choose the Profinet. As you can see, we will enter this screen on real teach pendant. So this is the maximum. This is the starting mode. Right now it's operational. We can choose suspended. Okay, let's leave it. So in this video, I'm telling you Fanuc ROBOT as I/O device, not controller. So we must disable it. Disable the controller, and we must enable it, the I/O device. Okay. The default input and output size for Fanuc ROBOT, the default should be 64 bytes for input and output respectively. One more time, the default input and output size for Fanuc ROBOT is 64 bytes. Remember, respectively. So once you choose enable, disable this, you choose other. You choose I/O device. So basically this we disable. This is the detail. The next, we should set Fanuc ROBOT IP address and Profinet device name. Remember, this is the process. So we click others. In the real teach pendant, we have another option, Ethernet address setting. I'm gonna show you because this is the virtual teach pendant has a little bit problem. Okay, I'm gonna show you in the real teach pendant. I recorded on site. We click setup. We choose Profinet. Okay, as you can see. Then we choose the I/O device. We have the general Ethernet address, I/O device, I/O controller, I/O device configure. In the real teach pendant, like this, general Ethernet address, I/O controller, I/O device configure. One more time, setup. We have this. Okay, in the video, this is the real teach pendant. We have the second option should be Ethernet address. Then we click on it. Then we can set IP address, subnet mask, and this is the router and device name. We also can name it. Because IP address and subnet and device name must be identical with PLC side setting for the slave station, for the robot station. For example, if we have the Siemens PLC, we also need the Fanuc ROBOT IP address and device name. Okay, get it? Once you set the IP address, the next should be the input and output. You choose the I/O device. This one disable. You choose the module, you click detail. You click detail. So this is the virtual machine. And the real teach pendant should be like this. Once you enter this screen, the real teach pendant should be like this. I device module and input output length module type I/O, data type digital. One more time, the general default size should be 64 respectively for input and output. Because the virtual machine has a little bit problem, I'm just to show you, okay? Should be like this. This is the default one. So once you set, you can choose the 64 because the virtual machine has problem. Once you set it, then you go back. Then we finish the setting, and next we restart. We restart. Okay, restart it. So we will check. So the next, once you set the input and output, you have to I/O configuration. You have to assign this Profinet I/O with the robot I/O, both for general I/O and for unique special I/O. We choose I/O, we choose digital, we choose configure. So as you can see, you can type here. Because Fanuc ROBOT adds Profinet I/O device. One more time, as Profinet I/O device, the rack must be 100. One more time, Profinet I/O device, Fanuc rack must be 100 rack. And slot 1, because the default one is 64, so total is 512 bit. And start, this is the general digital output, start from 19, and 1 to 18 is for unique digital output, UO. Okay, one more time, start at 19 and 1 to 18 is for UO, unique digital output. One more time, and right now you will show active. And you click input, same, rack 100, start at 19 and 1 to 18 for unique UI. You can choose the type, you can choose the UOP. As you can see, we can choose the configure. Rack must be, this is the unique configure, must be 100. Start at 1. Okay? Start at 1. Rack must be 100. Start at 1. This is the basic configuration for Profinet I/O device for Fanuc. And during the configuration, we probably may have other problems, such as we need updated form. Then what are you going to do? If you have to update the firmware problem. firmware problem, you have the alarm. You need to update the firmware because the board firmware doesn't compatible with the software option. Then you will have to update it, the firmware. Then first, for this problem first, you have to suspend it, that option. This option, you have to suspend it first. You have to choose suspend it, and you have to make sure this system variable must be variable must be, wait a second, this system variable must be 1, not 0. Typically it's 0. Okay, then you can update it, the firmware. Then you go back to find this file, you choose select. You find a program. This program, because on teach pendant, on this virtual teach pendant has problem, should be PNFBUPDT, this program PC on real teach pendant. You choose this, you press enter, and you choose the shift and forward. Then you will run this program and you will update it like this. Wait a second. As you can see, this is the real teach pendant. You choose this program, press enter and press shift and forward. Run this program and it will show you it's updating the firmware. You choose yes. Firmware need update. And once finished, should be like this. Update ended. Please power off, cycle power off, power. Okay, then you can power it. If still, once you updated the firmware, it still have the problem, then you update it one more time. So that is the entire steps for you updated the firmware. Okay, and the next problem should be, if we don't want to use the default input and output size, such as 64 for input and output, this length, we want to change the bytes. What are you going to do? Because basically we suggest you use the default one for 64. If you don't want to use it, you have to change it. Okay, then that is another problem. We're gonna fix it. So before you do that, you do the backup. You do the backup of the robot, and you open the backup file. You open the backup file, and you will find device 1, this zip file, and you copy it and you open it in Notepad. This is, you open it in Notepad. So as you can see, the default slot 1 and input 64, you have to change. You have to change the input length and output length, and for ID. And for the reference, you have to follow these two pictures to make the modification, which is this. This is the general I/O module. This is, as you can see, the ID is 16 for the ID is 16 and for input length is 64. You can change the whatever the length you want. You have to change the ID and the length on the notepad. And if you have a safety Profinet safety I/O, you have to follow this picture. This is for the safety I/O. As you can see, you follow this, okay, and you edit file here. If safety slot is 2, then you edit. You follow this format, edit on the device, this file, device 1, this file, and once you finish, then you change it. You must receive as all project. One more time, you have to all types. Once you finish the modification on this file, you have to save as all types. Okay, get it? And the next, you should put this file into USB disk and plug into teach pendant port or cabinet port, then go back to the teach pendant. Remember, you follow that 2 pictures. Once you put the disk into the teach pendant USB port, let's assume USB port on teach pendant, then should be UT1. If you put it on the cabinet, should be UD1. On teach pendant should be UT1, and you choose menu, you choose file, and on the real teach pendant you press F5. You set the device, you choose the USB disk, and you find that device 1 file on USB disk. You find the device 1 on USB disk. One more time, menu, file, you press F5 on real teach pendant, and you choose USB on TP, and you find the contact device 1. You choose it and you click next. Once you click next, you choose copy, and should be go this way. I have the picture for you. So you find on teach pendant, you choose UDT1 and you find device 1, this file, and you choose next, and you choose copy to the FR directory, and for the PNFB, this folder, you have to type it by yourself. Then you can finish the imported this file into the robot. And remember, before you do that import steps, you have to make sure this start mode must be suspended, must be at stop. Then you execute the stop, execute the import step. Once you successfully imported this file, you power off, power on, then you can check. Setup. You recover the operation once you, and you choose the general. You choose a little bit start. Oh, sorry. You choose the I/O device. You choose the details. You can check because the virtual machine is not right. You can check on real teach pendant whether this on the teach pendant setting this length already successfully imported or not. Okay, so this is you for you how to change the I/O device, the input and output. And if you have the Profinet safety, then you have to configure it. You choose the menu, you choose the system. On the rear touch pendant, you will have the DCS option, and once you choose that option, you enter it. You should be go this way. You will enter this screen. Profinet safety DCS, you will enter this. And for this check enable, and for this code, it's very important, must be identical with PLC side, and also for the F address 42, let's assume, must be identical with PLC side safety. Okay, so this is this video's content, and if you are master, ignore. If you are beginners, hopefully useful to you. For the DCS, I will also introduce in other videos in this Fanuc training course, and also for the safety problems. For these videos, we focus on Profinet I/O device for Fanuc ROBOT because we commonly use it with PLC as a Profinet master, Fanuc ROBOT as slave Profinet. So hopefully useful to you. See you next.